From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big early morning of Early Mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 and breaking news about Omicron and new travel restrictions potentially being changed. Are the latest details, but turning right to Santa Monica, California today, we have incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 with indications that recon may pass in the Senate sooner than initially thought. The breaking details are unearthed on this big early mornings broadcast as the senators now have that recon and are reportedly set to pass it sooner than initially thought. On the latest details, we'll go over those incredible checks that are in this recon that'll pay you a lot of money across the board. Those incredible checks come as student loan debt forgiveness is heating up and also this stimulus. But the big details as we start a big day is that there's a lot of money that is in that third stimulus that can still pay you money across the board. $45,000. How viewers continue to get their bills paid, I'll show you how to get your bills paid in today's recording. We'll be turning back to that recon and what the senators are doing to get that recon done sooner than later. And the big checks that are going in there. And 6 senators now say, of all 6, they're putting a particular set of checks in there. What is that check as the big wave comes in? I have the latest details. How soon that recon could get passed? I have the latest on that as well. As we go into a big morning, I'll have the latest details of why the financial markets really imploded last week and what went on with those new travel details across the board. Plus, we'll look at a brand new show coming to this channel. You're going to see me in a new life because guess what? You always need to see me in a new light. The toast is toasting, the coffee is brewing, and the bacon is bacon, but the butter is buttering, and the toast is toasting. I'm excited to hear a big early mornings broadcast starts right here, right now, beginning this morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. That incredible recon has gone into the Senate, and the Senate will likely change new checks and put new checks in there, but likely not remove many checks, says a brand new report today. All the latest details of why that report thinks that the recon will pass in the Senate very quickly. The latest details on that. Plus, we're going to go over the incredible checks that are in that recon so far. The checks that are available to pay your bills right today is from third stimulus, student loan debt forgiveness. The latest on that, 5.9% COLA raise, and fifth stimulus coming after that. Oh boy, plus the latest details on what happened with the financial markets yesterday over the weekend and are likely to happen today. It's a jaw-dropping big morning's recording. We have a lot going on, plus the latest on Omicron, all covered in this big early morning's broadcast. I'm excited you're here. And with that, make sure you subscribe. Go under this video right now and hit that subscribe button. 2,000-3,000 likes. I want you part of this incredible family. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Power or Casino VIP. Let's go into the incredible details of what we're looking at this recon right now that pays you a lot of checks. How much checks? At least $15,000. But you're going to see in just a second, it's probably upwards of about $50,000 of checks. And here we go with the first cluster. Let's jump right into it. The first cluster has hazard pay. Got it in there. One more year for the earned income tax credit, the $4,000 of elder care, the $4,000 of care for young children. The Pell Grant got in there, $550 checks for my college student. The home repairs if you live in a low-income community. And then the CTC, $12,500 plus the incredible $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Yes, it's incredible. They got that all in that first cluster. The first add-on comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here from Southern California. She got it in there. It is money to buy your first home. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less, but boy, this is incredible. How do you get these sums of money? I show it to you later in this recording. Stay with me. Let's go to the second cluster checks, home repairs, and paid leave. Wow. That second cluster starts with the incredible household tax credit, pre-kindergarten, also the child care programs, and then the home repairs. These home repairs, in this case, are to weatherize your home. It's the holiday season. You need to weatherize it. No, that's winterizing. How about Crayola crowns everywhere? No, that's Crayolarizing it. How about bacon everywhere? That's baconizing it. How about Mitch everywhere? No, that's just too much. One Mitch is just enough. Thank you. Let's go to the second add-on of checks. The second add-on of checks comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. He wanted to get in money. He got it in there. $250 billion. He got a little bit less. This is for free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. Wow. How do you get this money? It's coming up in just a second. It's a little bit less than that $250 billion. Let's go to the third cluster of checks, seniors and free internet. This is the cluster that becomes deliciousness. They got in there free school meals for all checks, cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform. Then they got in there farmers money for the internet, also free money for independent contractors, and then the money for my seniors. When we talk about the money for our seniors, there are two provisions the House members got in there, and the senators vowed to add three more. Let's go over the details right now. They got Medicare expansion in there on the House side with the hearing and the Medicaid gap fix. The senators vow to add three more provisions on top of that, which are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Wow. Now, when we look at the recon, the Senate versus House changes are much the same when we talk about MSE. And the breaking news when we talk about MSE, which stands for multiple IRS stimulus check, is now 6 of 6 legislators say they're putting it in there, and they've said that in the last 7 days. Wow, this is incredible, great news. Those 6 legislators are absolutely incredible. Now, let's go over the details of this starting right now. When we talk about MSC, what are we talking about? How does this work? What does this mean? It means they want to do it the same income level as third stimulus, $75,000 or less. Single individual, got it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Rural Benefits, they got it as well. It's not income, it's not taxable, it's delivered across the United States, and was also delivered to adult dependents. When they talk about the amount of the MSC, they've talked about a lot of different amounts, but they've talked about $2,000 the first month, $1,000 or after for up to 6 months. And what's at issue? What's at issue is that 6 senators have now said to viewers of this channel, it's going in there. We had Janet on the Holidays LATE show the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, picking up the phone and calling Chuck Schumer, and being told that Chuck Schumer is putting it in there via Bernie Sanders. That was number 1 and 2. Then we had Lynn Glenn last Wednesday pick up the phone and calling Chris Coons' office and being told it's going in there. Then we had Bonnie pick up the phone and calling over to Liz Warren's office and being told it's going in there. We had Tyrell picking up the phone and calling over to Bob Casey's office and being told it's going in there. And then Donnie picking up the phone and calling over to Ronald Wyden's office, the final 6 member, and being told it's going in there. And that's why it's important for you to advocate across the board for its inclusion. Advocacy involves telling why you need it and why your family needs it. And the advocacy starts by picking up the phone and calling those 6 senators. And who are they? They are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Advocate for why you need it. Don't use the word MSC. Use simple words like stimulus, IRS check. And say why your family needs it, economic, financial, medical reasons, whatever it is. Again, Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. The number 1 legislator in that group on the recon, his chief of staff says, we need to hear from you. And they have received over 5 million phone calls to date. Keep on advocating, because now LA is the single biggest advocacy place for the recon in the United States. They now have in total between congressional and senators' offices received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures on the American petition, says the chief of staff to the number 1 guy in that recon list of senators. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through this pandemic. They have heartbreaking stories and the voice of the people in LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Very kind. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy as a professional voice of the people you have become until this becomes law. Plus, you need to advocate for your wallet. And advocating for your wallet involves getting big money available today to pay your bills. It's third stimulus. In the second half of this video, I'm going to show you how to get thousands of dollars to pay for your bills today from third stimulus. It's coming up in the second half of this video. And then we turn over to the student loan debt forgiveness, the offer on the table, the big money from fifth stimulus. How would this work, and why is it different from that COLA raise? We'll be then turning into the money in that fourth stimulus package. The big money in that fourth stimulus package that will pay you far in excess of $15,000. The Senate changes that will go on top of that. And the passage, how quickly that passage will happen on the Senate side. It's a big second half of this recording. I'm excited you're here. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. But first, here is a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on an early morning's LA broadcast. Direct from Santa Monica, I'm excited you're here. Jump the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. The House has passed the on. It's now in the Senate, and the Senate changes will be robust. A new report says that you should not expect more than 2 programs removed from the recon, but expect more added. And the passage very quickly. Wow, it's breaking. It's coming up in just a second. The programs will be a huge payday for you across the board. You may get upwards of $50,000 to $60,000 from this fourth stimulus recon, but don't time to wait, because you can get your bills paid today with third stimulus. I'm going to show you in this recording how you can get big bills paid under third stimulus. It's exciting. We'll be turning to that student loan debt forgiveness, and then we'll be turning to that COLA raise of fifth stimulus. We'll be looking at where the landscape is right now across the board with the strange situation with the financial markets and more. And we'll be taking a look at a brand new show coming to this channel. You're going to see me in a new universe you've never seen me before. Yeah, that's me. That's coming to this channel as well. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family. So go down in the video right now and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Sign up for the LA Alerts, which is totally free. The LA Alerts will send you a new video when it becomes live, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. And with that, the breaking news as you go into the big day is very robust, as is my cup of coffee. The details are abound, and let's start with each of them, starting right now. First, we ended the week with incredible great news as the debt ceiling limit moved to February, but what was bigger news in there was that Joe Manchin caucused with the Democrats in the vote. There was initial thoughts that Joe Manchin was going to vote in favor of a Republican provision, an amendment, because he said he might. He did not. He went with a fellow Democrats. That's great news. The second great news is a series of new reports released in the last 24 hours that signal that the recon in the Senate is going to be a quick move and get it done. They think it's going to get done in the month of December. And here is the issue. First, they believe it's going to get done by December 25th, Christmas. Then, they also believe that the provisions that are in the recon on the House side are going to stay in there with the exception of maybe 10% removed. What are the two provisions they think coming out is paid leave and also the SALT cap. More about those in a second. Number 3, they expect big provisions to be added in there. And number 4, they believe there's a reason why it's going to get done in December. And you know what? I agree with them. Let me go over the details. They're coming from both Republican and Democratic analysts. Seth Harlan, who's a Republican, who is a Democrat for the Liberal Center for American Progress, and Kyle Pomelo, who's a senior fellow at the Conservative American Enterprise Institute, both said that they believe that the recon will get done in December, and you're not likely to see any of those major provisions removed, but you'll see more provisions added. Why do they think it's going to get done? I find this fascinating, and I got to tell you, I agree that many of the provisions in fourth stimulus are repeats of existing provisions currently law under third stimulus, but set to expire in December. So they rather not have them to expire, they rather just have them continued. Wow, that's incredible, great news. Those other details coming up later in this video, which include what's going on with Omicron and then the financial markets. But let's go right into this incredible fourth stimulus recon that pays you a lot. It's the biggest recon we have ever had in the history of the channel, and it's going to be a huge payday for you. When we look at the recon, we see it's probably at least $15,000, but it's more likely $40,000 to $50,000. And let's go over each of them, starting with the first provision, which is the paid leave. It's a lot. $1,700 if you make $70,000 or more per year, approximately. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year, approximately. $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more a year, approximately. How many weeks? 4 weeks per year. Whoa. So that's about $6,000 on the high end. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Now, if you don't work, you may get the benefit of it if you live with someone who does work. For example, if you're retired, live with your son and daughter. They take you to the doctor once a week. They take off from work. Now they will get a check for taking off from work to take you to the doctor. All income levels, all type of workers, W-2, 1099. They got in there the SALT cap, which is absolutely incredible, which will raise the amount you can deduct in state taxes on the federal tax return from $10,000 to $72,500. Wow. They got $40 billion of free job training in there for many Americans who want to quit their job and take a higher paying job. Now you get free job training for that as well. One of the best provisions in there is a question I get all the time: where's the cheaper medical insurance? They got it in there. 12 Republican states were not paying for the Obamacare, so they got it in there with a workaround plan. They'll provide private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states, which then brings us to the single biggest, best provision in the fourth stimulus recon. You know what it is. Housing. $150 billion of it, with 6 programs, 3 new: weatherize your home, home repairs, and first-time home purchases. More about that in a second. But first, let's go over the 3 returning provisions from third stimulus, again in fourth stimulus, and they are rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And yes, you do not have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law, because they're currently law right now under third stimulus, and they're paying you thousands of dollars for your bills. Let's take a step back. A year ago, about this month, I had a preview, an exclusive preview of what was going to be in what they called third stimulus. I delivered on this channel when many people were only talking about second stimulus. I was looking forward to looking to fourth stimulus with you. And I said, what is in third stimulus? I said, this is what's coming around the corner. I said, I can probably get you about $15,000 from this upcoming third stimulus. When it became a law, I again looked at it, I said, I can get you about $15,000. I was wrong. I got viewers on average $45,000 from third stimulus. Now, if you weren't a viewer then, you may not have heard about this. You may have only gotten a stimulus check and called it a day. If you had been a viewer, you would have got to this money. And now you have become a viewer, don't worry, because you can still get this incredible sums of money. Yeah, there was a lot more money in third stimulus than just a stimulus check. Average viewer, $45,000. But 2 weeks ago, I saw an issue. You have bills to pay. You have bills to get paid, and you need help. So I said, you know what? Third stimulus is still around. Viewers who had gotten third stimulus before did not know they can get another round. Then viewers who had found this channel recently didn't know that they can still get third stimulus from months ago. They didn't know it's still funded. It is. And day after day, I continue to deliver the message, go get third stimulus. Let me show you how. And you have won. Viewers day after day have gotten on average about $5,000 in the last 7 days. If you have a success story, send it to me in private message. And first, we're going to start with those incredible success stories right now. What is this again? Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, food, and more. We had Thorne Diaz in the Holidays LALATE show yesterday saying, I got 4 more months of rent. Congratulations. We had Chef John Meyer yesterday saying, you are true blessing. You are awesome. I got an extra $2,500 a snap, and I'm trying to work on utilities. Thank you, Chef John Meyer. Longtime viewer. Love him. Deborah got 6 more months of rent, $4,000. Thank you, LA. Thank you. See, it's an average of about 4 to 6 months of rent you can get. Then we had a wonderful Lynn Glenn. She got another round of rent. She got some earlier this year. She says, God bless you, LA. I'm never going to stop watching. Love you back, Lynn Glenn. We had Robin, who got one round, then another round, and third round from 2 utilities. How do you do that? It's coming up in just a second. She says, you are an angel in disguise. Love you back, Robin. Then the incredible D. Miller got 4 more months of rent at $2,800. Wow. Shows you can get the big sums of money for rent. We have the incredible Madonna, who got big money, and Madonna got one round, then another round, and a third round of rent. Just incredible. Then we have the Kathy, who got another round of rent, utilities, and food and utilities, and that brought her to about $6,000. You are a godsend, says Kathy. I love you back, Kathy. Thank you for the nice comment. Morel got 3 rounds in just the last few days. I love it. May Lou got about $6,000 the last few days, which included nearly $1,000 of rent. And she says, I appreciate you. You are the best. Thank you, May Lou. And then we have Jay Gran, who says, I speak for all of us. We love you to death, LLA. I love you back, Jay Gran. He got another $5,000. Scarpia got Snap. Melissa Justice got about $10,000. And there comes Chris, who got an incredible story. His story was he got about $10,000 from Third Summers earlier this year, and then he heard my recordings in the last 7 days. Said, I would have never known about this if you had not mentioned it. So I just went back and I got recertified for about $5,000 and more money. So get a pen and paper ready. This is your opportunity. If you're a member of this channel, pull out the newsletter. You should always watch this video with the newsletter in front of you so that you are ready to apply the information to the situation. We're going to go over rent, utilities, food, and internet, and you qualify. You qualify whether red state or blue states, poor or rich, whether married or single, adult or young. There is money everywhere, and you qualify. So I'm going to show you right now how to get that money. We're going to start first with the rent. And the rent is absolutely incredible. When we look at the rent about 3 months ago, the numbers were not where they are today. And even then, there are a lot. What are the numbers? Back then, the rent was this. This was the graphic about 3 months ago. It was $20,000 to $30,000. Now it is $40,000. One viewer last week said he got $35,000 of rent. If that is you, send me a private message. I'm going to feature you live on air. So how much are viewers getting out? About $40,000. Where do you get it? Get that newsletter out. And if you're not a member, take notes starting right now. 6 places you want to reach out to. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. Now, there are 3 musts. Number 1, you must reach out to all 6 places. Number 2, you must apply as often as you can in as many places as you can. And number 3, you must get multiple rounds. So if you got a round early this year, get another round today. If you got a round of utilities yesterday, get another round from another organization to pay for it today. You can do that. Do the same thing for mortgage assistance as well. Next, when we talk about utilities, they've gone up a lot. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Wow, you can do this. Reach out to all utility companies, utility assistance because of COVID. Next, if you got a third stimulus check, why are you paying for food? You get it on SNAP. You get it from Department of Agriculture. And boy, is it a lot. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year because of his channel. Yes, that is $250,000 over the next 10 years. Get on that SNAP right today for Department of Agriculture. Nisi and Art Sullivan back in the month of May inspired us to get 3 items. They were the first to get 3, and I told viewers ever since, get as many items as you can. Mark at the time was at 2 items, $32,000. He got his third, brought himself to $50,000. Then he's gotten more items. Since then, he has gotten over $100,000. Lorraine, she was at 105. Now she's at 120. This is how we rock and roll. Meantime, one viewer last week delivered the news in the live chat. He got for his family $135,000 from Third Summers. It's the single biggest payout that I've ever seen for anyone or any family in one recon on this channel. Congratulations. And that was you. Send me a private message. I want to feature you live on air. But now we go to the incredible story of Johnny. It's a 3-part story, and it's like nothing you have ever seen. Johnny was one of 3 viewers who was watching his channel a few weeks ago. By Wednesday, he went from Monday to Wednesday. By Monday, he was at $0. By Wednesday, he and the other 2 viewers got 3 programs approved, $45,000. They don't know each other. They just had the same result. But Johnny was different. They stopped. He didn't. He hears my recordings where I say, keep on pushing. He did. By the end of the week, he got 7 programs approved. Now, why do I like part 1 of the story? It's not because of 7 items. It's because he made probably 15 phone calls. To get 7 items approved, you have to make at least 15 phone calls. You're going to have a 20 to 50% non-approval rating. People are going to say no. You're going to get some no's. It's par for the course. And so for him to get 7 yeses, he had to have made 15 phone calls. I love it. That's how you do it. How much did he get? $80,000. Yes, $80,000 in 5 days. Part 2 of his story, even better. Following Monday, he reached out to his 2 family members. Hey, I got $80,000 last week. They said, where? From LA. He said, oh, I've heard about him. What he gets you the money for? He said, third stimulus. They said, Johnny, I haven't heard about this money from broadcast media. Why do they not talk about it? He says, they don't talk about it. He talks about it. Let me show you how to get the money. End of the week, those 2 family members went from non-believers to believers. They each got $50,000. Now, what's the landscape in America right now? This is the #1 financial channel for geopolitical news, which is what you're watching, geopolitical news. But it's the #3 financial news channel in America. There's a lot of other things to talk about. And the #1 channel talks about SPACs. The who? SPACs. I don't talk about SPACs. Who? SPACs. I don't talk about. Does it mean that they don't exist? No, it means I don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Does it mean that when they don't talk about my stuff, that my stuff doesn't exist? No, it means they don't want to talk about it. And let's go to part 3 of Johnny's incredible story, which came in 2 Sundays ago. I was watching Sunday Night Football and got the private message on Instagram from Johnny. And he said, I haven't checked in for you in a while. I have some news. I said, what? Well, people kept on coming over the house asking what I was doing and hearing about what I was doing. And I showed them. And suddenly they said, help me get that same money from LA. So I kept on having more people watch your videos and continued showing them how to get this third stimulus money. It continued. And I got 32 people money. It snowballed. I said, how much money did you get them? He said, across all these 32 people, I got them $850,000. This is what this channel's about. It's about cashing checks. I show and I get people more money than you're going to get anywhere in the United States. This is the place. This is the place to get money. We aren't tracking checks or cashing checks. So get that finger down on the video right now and hit the membership link. Become a member today. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP to get that incredible newsletter that goes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. It features all the money that is in there from the third stimulus. It features the 6 places you want to reach out to. It features the keywords you want to say. It features the 5 nonprofits that help with other items like small home repairs and window brokens and small refrigerators and furnaces. It also features the money from Treasury and how to read that incredible newsletter, that statement from Treasury that explains the money that went out everywhere before you make the phone call to the person who says we don't have it, because you know they do have it because Treasury put in writing we sent it to you. That incredible newsletter comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and get it right now. Become a member today. And let's go back right into 4 Stimulus Recon. We left off at the housing provision. Those were the 3 repeated provisions. So what are the 3 new provisions? And the new provisions are home repairs. This would be for low-income homes, low-income community homes. That's a grant. Then the next one is weatherize your home, all income levels. And finally, first-time home purchases. And there you go. They got in there $550 checks for the Pell Grant for the college students, and time to meet a new cast member. That new cast member, there's actually 2 of them. There's actually 2 of them, and I want you to meet them right now. And what are their names? Their names are Simplistic Sally. Here is one. Oh, do I have the other one ready? I don't, maybe I do. Oh, here she is. And here is the second one, Voting Victoria. Well, what are their deals? What are their issues? Let's start with Voting Victoria. Voting Victoria always says the same thing. When are they voting? She's sort of like obsessed with that. Are they voting today? Are they voting tomorrow? When are they voting? When are they voting? What's important to understand is that for a thing to become a law, for legislation to become a law, it has to pass the House, has to pass the Senate, but it also has to be right. It's not right if a particular provision is wrong. Let me give you an example. Let's say it's Senator LLA, and I'm looking at the next provision, and I love it. I want you all to have this money. I want to ensure that you all have the money. But I'm looking at the language, and there's a mistake in there. And the way that mistake is written, you're going to end up not getting the money. I want you to ensure you have the money. So I'm going to go to Chuck Schumer and say, Chuck, we have a problem. Oh, LA, you're right. I didn't see that error. I don't know how Nancy in the House missed it. So yeah, we have a problem. So that is voting Victoria. Let's turn to Simplistic Sally. Simplistic Sally. So basically, she starts every sentence with so basically. And there is very nice Simplistic Sallies. There was one viewer in the live chat 2 days ago said, so how many more steps are left, Elliot? Well, here's an example of how I would not know how many steps are left. And the example I just gave you, I go to Chuck saying there's a problem with this language. Does Chuck fix it? Well, no. He has to go to the other senator and say, LALATE is right. There's a problem here. We need to fix this, folks. And it only takes one senator to say, I like it wrong. Leave it wrong. What do you mean leave it wrong? And suddenly it's not one step. Suddenly it's two steps. And that's just my issues that I need to fix. So let's apply this to a real world example, starting right now. $12,500 for the purchase of an electric vehicle is in this recon. It's huge. It means you go into the dealership, you look at the window sticker, it's going to say $30,000 minus $12,500. Yes, that is not a refund. It is a check to the from the federal government to the dealership at the time of purchase. Wow, you pay $18,000 in this example. That's not the part of the provision I have a problem with. It's the next part of the provision. There is a rule that says you cannot discourage goods bought in Mexico to encourage people to buy goods bought in Canada or United States. It's a three-country trade policy that's been in the books for many years. I think this recon violates it. Let's see how. It talks about electric cars, U.S. auto manufactured, unionized worker. So here's a case example. The Cadillac Lyriq, an electric SUV. The Ford Mustang Mach-E, a Ford electric SUV. Okay, so let's start. U.S. auto manufacturer, yep, they're both Ford and GM. Electric car, yeah, they're both electric. Number 3, unionized labor, yeah, Ford unionized labor, and then GM unionized labor. So what's the big difference? The Ford Mustang Mach-E is made in Mexico. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Does not qualify. Disqualified. What? And then the Cadillac Lyriq made in Tennessee. Bing, 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 bing. It qualifies. Fair, unfair. I think it violates the policies. If I was Senator LALATE, I'd go to Chuck and say, need to change it, and he probably would. That is how you have to make changes across the board. They got $65 a month per student when they're not in school for nutrition. Then we get to one of the best provisions of the whole recon, cheaper medication. Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, the most expensive medications like cancer, arthritis, diabetes will be dramatically slashed day one. 20 medications, for example, insulin doses goes from $1,000 to $35. And then growing to 30 medications by year 2028. Cannot increase more than the rate of inflation per year, or there's a penalty provision. Penalty provision? You can't put a penalty provision in a recon, says Senator Pat Toomey, Republican senator. And Senator LA would say the same thing. I think this has to go out. So here's another thing that needs to be fixed, but someone may fix it before we get to it. Who is that? The Senate parliamentarian. She's a political official that is elected to go over provisions and look in whether they violate rules of the Senate. That one may. The next one, likely to violate, is immigration reform. She previously ruled it cannot stay in there. I think she's taken it out. And then we go to paid leave. We went over it early in this video. Joe Manchin last week said, if you leave paid leave in there, I'm voting against the recon. So this is an issue. You got to fix this issue before you call the vote. Now, she may remove it, and then you don't have that issue anymore. So that is where we are across the board. What's very fascinating is that you're looking at this graphic, and this graphic says $15,000. Well, you and I know it is not $15,000 because guess what? You got all those original checks from the House. You have those add-ons from Maxine Waters, like the $25,000. You have those provisions from third stimulus repeating themselves. And wow, I mean, across the board, there is a lot of items going in there that are important. And with those provisions being added to that recon, then what would happen next? What's important to know across the board is that they have a lot more checks to add. And those additional checks could bring the recon even higher. That's why the recon clearly looks like it's about $50,000 to $60,000 across the board before we get the provisions that are added from those Senate changes. And guess what? The senators who want to add those changes are the same senators who want to add an MSC. That's why it's important for you to advocate. Let's go down into that graphic again and look at those senators you need to advocate to. And what are their names? Their names are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. You need to advocate across the board and make sure they include it in there. And with that, let's go back to some of the final provisions that are in that recon that came from the House, and boy, are they incredible. And some of these show us why it's important to get it done by Christmas. So they got in there universal pre-kindergarten free for 3 to 4-year-olds. And then the next 3 checks are all third stimulus items that are set to expire. So this is why they want to get the fourth stimulus recon done. Childcare, that is third stimulus. Enhanced child tax credit, that's third stimulus. And earned income tax credit, that's third stimulus. They want to continue those and get them done rather than let them expire. Incredible. They got the home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. That's a covered benefit. They got the check for the hearing. That is huge. And then we already went over the dental. We already went over the nutrition. We went over the housing, and we went over the Pell Grant. So what are the other checks the Sanchez would add in there? Well, they would add a lot. And in addition to that MSE, Bernie represents they're going to add in there lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, dental, and vision. Let's go over each of those details right now. First, when you're looking at... I was like, where are you? There you are. Thank you. They're going to be adding in the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Bernie wants to drop it to 55. It's currently 65. Bob Casey wants to do it 60. Then Bernie wants to put in full dental coverage for 10 years. I don't think he can do it. It's too expensive. He wants to do 3 years of full benefits. I think that's possible. Then he wants to put in there something better for dental than the last time it was in there, which is $850 check. It doesn't cut it because that doesn't even cover basic procedures. He wants to do vision, which would be an eye exam and a pair of frames per year. Pretty simple. Just send out that check once a year unless you're doing frame wars. That's a problem. Frame wars coming back to this channel in just a few days from now. But student loan debt, this would go by executive order. $10,000 offer is on the table. The president has offered it. The Democrats should take it. It would fall 3 other rounds before this. First, for individuals who became disabled after graduation, their debts have been forgiven. Then also people who went to work in the nonprofit sector and public sector, their debts have been forgiven as well. COLA and FIST stimulus, a lot of questions. Let me explain the differences between the two. They're different items completely. COLA is going up, and your benefits are going up next year. Your benefits, January 1, are going up 5.9%. Everyone is going up 5.9%. You do not have to receive the letter from Social Security to get this lift up. It's automatic. You don't have to do anything. That is COLA. It does not impact your Medicare benefits whatsoever. Now let's turn to FIST stimulus, which is totally different. FIST stimulus is looking at the situation and say, okay, after this, we have a problem, which is COLA doesn't work. So we want to get rid of COLA for December 2022. Replace it with inflation, 2 to 3%. And then they would lift up your benefits one time to get you caught up. Remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty, and love is going to win. Very simple across the board. Meantime, what happened yesterday? It was just all over the place. I mean, it just was weird. It started on Sunday when Dr. Fauci appeared on broadcast media and said that Omicron is suggesting that maybe we'll lift our restrictions on travel out of South Africa and neighboring countries. Excuse me? This makes no sense because the White House had said that it needed to place those restrictions on non-U.S. citizens out of South Africa because they needed time to get some data on Omicron. Well, as of yesterday, Dr. Walensky said they still don't have enough data. They have very few cases. And suddenly Fauci saying he has enough data. I mean, what's going on here? It doesn't make any sense. Either you have the data or you don't have the data. As if that was not enough, then we have the U.S. travelers who are literally complaining left and right, rightfully so, that the U.S. is not making clear what the travel restrictions are for them, especially out of Europe. For example, if you're flying from Germany to New York and have a stopover overnight in Paris, what do? Travelers just don't know. They don't know, and the White House is not making clear. You have to have a test before you board in Germany, and then you have to have another test in Paris, and does it have to be in person or by telephone, with the digital version, or can you take this test yourself, or can it be PCR or not PCR? It's just a hot mess. The White House has not made it very clear. Now, as if that was not enough, then came Wall Street. Wall Street just made a mess of itself in the last few days as well. And this is where it's getting to become a little bit bizarro. Let me tell you what happened. On Monday, Wall Street went up because they heard news on Sunday that Fauci said, so far, initial data, which is very little, is suggesting that Omicron is not that severe. Wait a second, just a little data. It's just a little data. We don't know. In fact, Fauci himself said, I need to see more data. Valinsky says we need to have more. I mean, wait a second. So why was Wall Street up 600 points with a little data? Wall Street then also on Monday said, oh, we're up because this is the rebound from Friday. But Friday wasn't crashing because of Omicron. It was crashing for something else. It's become like people don't know what's going on anymore. It's very weird. What I need you to know is what's going on. Wall Street crashed the day or two after Thanksgiving because of Omicron. But last Friday, Wall Street really crashed, far worse than Omicron's crash, of 1,000 points because of something that had nothing to do with Omicron. It was the economic data that came out from the jobs report. It was let me give you the overview. It was so strong that no one had seen it to come in that strong and scared the socks off of Wall Street because now they believe that the Federal Reserve will start tapering faster and start applying 2 interest rate hikes in 2022 earlier than everyone anticipated when they thought maybe 1 interest rate hike in the entire year. This is something no one anticipated, and Wall Street crashed. Crypto crashed down 50% a coin on Saturday. Sunday came back a little bit, but on Monday it was still substantially down, nearly back double dipping down to those 50% levels. This is a big problem. It's not a problem that is directly bad, but it's a problem that people are anticipating. Let me explain what's going on. So when you're trying to assess where things are going, you're trying to assess a progress. I'm going from A to B to C. Well, what happened was many people thought that this economy was moving at a certain pace and that the Federal Reserve was going to do certain things in reaction to it. Then last Friday, the numbers came in and they were so good that people got very scared. And most analysts said that if this stays the same as we are, and Omicron doesn't change, which apparently to Fauci it has not changed, then the Federal Reserve on December 15th will announce tapering faster and more interest rate spikes than initially thought. And this is something no one anticipated for. And guess what? I think that's what's going to happen. But you have to stay with me for the next 15 days because this is a very fluid situation, which means that that data was so strong. What was the data? Number one, the unemployment number was the best since 2019. Number two, the unemployment number for Latinos and African Americans, the best since that time, 2019, which is a big focal point of the Federal Reserve. Number three, the job participant number, which is the job labor number or the labor participation number, the best in over a year, which means that people on the sideline are no longer the sideline. They're getting back into the labor workforce. They're coming back into work. They're taking jobs once again. And finally, the cost of labor, how much you're paying the people, came down. So this is all good news. It means that supply chain inflation issues are coming down, meaning this economy is running really good, much better than anyone thought. And if tapering is coming sooner than people thought, if interest rates of 2 of them are coming next year sooner than thought, this is a risk. And it would show that potentially we ending a bull market, maybe going back into a recession. It's something no one anticipated. And that is why things are changing very quickly. But for Wall Street to rebound on Monday, thinking it was because of Omicron, oh, goodness. I mean, we had the Omicron hit on Thanksgiving. It was a different week. So I don't know what is going on with that. Meantime, one thing I do know what's going on is that an other place upon the map is a great place to make money. And where's that other place? It is the metaverse. And in a new show coming to this channel, working title, Metaverse, I'm taking you into that altered universe. This is me in the meta universe, and you're going to see me interacting with other people, show you how to interact with your Purple Power friends and make friends in the universe, interact and learn how to go to different places and interact with culture and arts and sciences, and also, more importantly, how to make money, lots of money. I'm going to show you how basic income is made in the meta universe and how advanced income can be made. It's a great informative show that brings all the details of this channel together, both financial data, cryptocurrency, and money making, all in a brand new show. It's coming to this channel in just a few days. Meantime, you've been really enjoying that show, Holidays LA, which is every day at 11 a.m. The new details about Holidays LA is that it's now going to be sliding in encore format in some of the street and stimulus shows at 7 o'clock every night. So now you'll have 3 new contemporary shows in a triple header on evenings. Evenings at 5, evenings countdown at 6, and then the encore of some holiday shows. Meantime, coming to this channel is the talking cow, the scarf-loving person, and the guy who eats too many ribs. That is Calcino, the hit comedy show that everyone has been talking about coming to this channel. If you missed the trailer, here is the new comedy show coming for limited engagement this holiday season with the three for the first time ever at Calcino. And that is Calcino. Meantime, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Go under this video right now and hit that subscribe button. 2,000-3,000 likes. I want you part of this incredible family. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and also consider becoming a member. Get that incredible newsletter, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. YouTube sent out, and LALATE sent out. Meantime, if you've not signed up for those LA alerts, please do so. Join me next on Morning's Countdown at 7 o'clock, and then I'm back with you live at 9 a.m. with Morning's LA. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.